Hello and welcome to the Las Vegas Father and Son Formula One podcast. I am the father, Graham Miller. This is my son, Toby.
Hello.
And this week we're talking about the Formula One Heineken Las Vegas Grand Prix 2025. That's actually quite a nice name, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
They've sold the naming rights for a bit of advertising, but it's not.
Well, that's all of them have that. I think they need a title sponsor.
Yeah, unlike everything else in Vegas, it's not massive and overblown and a bit too much.
No. Probably will be in a few years, though.
Well, yeah. So here in the UK, it was a really difficult one. I was actually talking about this before we pressed the record button.
Yeah.
Toby has a job where he works till, I've lost track, is it 10, 11 at night?
It's supposed to be 10, but sometimes we finish late.
And he's got an hour drive home. So how much of the free practice did you see? Because FP1 and FP3 were at half midnight.
I actually don't think I saw any of them. I probably could have done. Because, Friday night I'd have got home at 11. And I could have gone to bed late to watch, FP1. But I think I was focusing so much on, when to wake up for the quali and the race that I just didn't bother.
Yeah. And I remember I was feeling really rough last weekend, and I thought I'm going to feel so much worse if I get up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Which one had the really weird, again, they lost 20 minutes of running, which will become relevant later on.
Practice 2?
Because of the manhole covers again.
I'm just looking at the results. I think practice 2 had not many laps. Yeah, it was 2. The manhole cover's been a problem in the past, hasn't it?
Yeah, the first race they had, I think, Sainz, I can't remember the exact details, but Sainz sucked up a manhole cover. It damaged the bottom of his car, and then for some reason, I honestly can't remember, he got a penalty for it.
I think maybe braking parc ferme, because it was it was during qualifying?
Yeah, something like that, which kind of just...
But I remember Haas had something... The same thing happened to them at the Malaysian Grand Prix. And they actually sued the organisers of the circuit for money because they were a small team and the circuit broke their car. And they were like, well, we need to fix the car and we don't actually have that much budget.
And also, it's your job as an organiser to give us a safe racetrack. Is it just me, or has a lot of the races this year, you've looked at the racetrack organising... And it hasn't been, world class like you'd expect from a world class racing series.
Maybe. Which ones were you thinking of?
I honestly, wasn't there one where the glass fell out of the box where they waved the checkered flag?
I don't remember that, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a little box that's out over the start-finish straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that happened in one of the races. I'm sure there's been Mexico as well. They had marshals just wandering about on the track, and it just seems a bit chaotic in a way. And I don't think you can have too higher standards if it's meant to be, that and Le Mans are the kind of premium racing series in the world, basically.
Yeah, well, it is. Formula One is the premium racing series in the world.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be.
It just feels a bit kind of amateur in a weird way.
Yeah. I think in some ways they've got so many races now this year, per year. I think it's just... Well, maybe they're going to places that aren't quite as experienced as racetracks.
They are trying to expand a lot, and I always get the impression there's a lot of... not fighting, but to and fro, in that the FIA would like to go further. And, I think 24 races is a lot. I mean, I actually, when we were queuing it up, and I was looking, I was like, this is round 22.
Yeah.
We've been doing this podcast since March?
Something like that, maybe before that with the testing.
Pre-season testing, and we're now at the tail end of November, and...
It's basically 10 months.
Yeah, there's a triple header now. And, we said it before, even if you're in, the technical teams and the pit crews, just flying out every other weekend
Yeah.
for a whole year. all over the world. It must be so tough. I know they've got. Did you know they've got maximum work hours for the mechanics and the pit crews?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that specifically, but it kind of makes sense, I think, in retrospect.
Excuse me. And also they've got a maximum number of, I think, 60 pit crew per team who are actually allowed to be circuit side.
Yeah.
Because I think it was when there was all that fuss over the Monza pit stops, they actually did a bit of a deep dive on it, and the pit crews are the same for both drivers in a team.
Yeah.
Because they just literally don't have that many people there.
Well, hence double stacking is a thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would pit both drivers at the same time and they'd get service at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, each pit crew is like 15 people, I think. 3 per wheel, 2 jacks. Yeah. 14, 15 people.
They should bring back the lollipop man.
Yeah. Oh, who was I talking to about? Somebody asked on one of the dull groups why they have pit boards still.
Well, we found out in this race.
Yeah, was it Science lost his radio?
It was Albon lost his radio. And I've seen, getting ahead of ourselves a bit, but I've seen video on board. He broke his front wing, came into pit, and they have a pit confirm button on the wheel.
Yeah.
So they push that, and the team knows that they're coming in. He came in, they changed the wheels, but he was like half out the car, as much as he could be with the straps, like pointing at the wing and like shouting. But they didn't catch it, so he had to come in again. And then they did change it the next lap.
Surely the guy on the start-finish straight holding the pit board would see that the front wing was damaged.
Yeah, but they did, I think... Even then, they don't know if he's happy with the balance still.
Yeah.
And like, if he's okay with the front wing, and then he loses 20 seconds getting it changed, he's going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
I think they ended up retiring the car just because it was actually impossible to kind of manage.
Yeah, and I mean, my point was that, a pit board can't break.
No.
A lollipop can't actually malfunction. You might lose a few tenths of a second, but it can't go wrong.
Yeah. And also, it's just kind of a part of like early F1, like the visual of it.
Yeah.
Of just like the go. I think was it stop on one side in front of him, and then he flipped it round to say get ready, and then lifted it to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really simple, isn't it? Anyway, yes, you're right. It was free practice 2 where they had yet more problems and track inspections. But as we said before, because the free practices are kind of slotted into support races, it's not like qualifying where... Was it Brazil where they had like a 2-hour qualifying?
Baku.
Yeah. And also, very weirdly, for Las Vegas, they had rain, didn't they, all weekend?
Yeah. Well, qualifying was wet.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a surprise, because again, I hadn't really been paying attention to it all weekend. So I fired it up at like 4 a.m. and I saw it was raining and they were going out on full wet, and I was like, oh, I'm actually glad I stayed up and watched it live, because that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I saw something on like Wednesday that said there's normally a monsoon season in Nevada. But that's something weird like July to maybe early September, and nobody's ever seen it turn up in November before, and it's really weird.
Well, yeah, it's a desert.
Yeah, but even deserts get some rain sometimes.
Most of them do.
But, yeah, I'm just reading the report from FP2. The problem was that it was intermittent. So they went out in FP1 and got some data, and then it rained and washed the track clean, and then they went out in FP2.
Yeah, the track was completely green basically the whole weekend.
And then they lost 20 minutes of running in free practice too, and it was just like...
I think that's what ended up happening at the first corner.
Yeah.
But again, we won't get ahead of ourselves.
No.
But, yeah, it was like they were doing like 2-minute laps initially, 2:03s.
Yeah, I went and looked at the qualifying, and the best times were like 1:51, which were like really weird.
Yeah. Results. Norris's best time in Q1 was a 1:55, and then he gained a measly 8 seconds. Did they actually get onto slicks at the end? I think they only went onto inters.
I think Stroll went out on slicks and then dropped out of Q2, and then everybody else went, yeah, we're not using those.
I think it was inters. And what was kind of annoying about that was that Stroll was actually genuinely floating near the top end of the timing chart on the wets. Like, if you look at the Q1 times, it was like Alonso did a 53.7, Stroll did a 54.4, and I don't think anybody else got really that close to them. Max and George did, but I think it was like Max, George, Alonso, Stroll.
But you see, it's always been with Las Vegas, for some reason, whether it's like the packaging or the aero that you have to put in or the engine, but Vegas has always been a Mercedes-powered track.
Yeah. It's been, they've liked, I mean, George won it, didn't he?
Yeah. But it's not just that, like you're saying, the Williams did really well, the
Aston Martin. Yeah, you're right, it is well, I've always thought it was because it was quite cool.
That too, yeah, because it's a night race in the desert, so it's going to be cooler than normal.
Yeah, so qualifying, Norris, and then, the top 10 is largely Mercedes-powered, both McLarens.
But yeah, weirdly, McLaren have never really gone that well there, have they?
Yeah, it is a bit of a sort of like arcane art figuring out who's going to be quick where, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and obviously there's people, not just me and you sat there chatting, but, there's like strategists in every team trying to work out how to optimise for every track and everything.
Yeah.
But you're right, I mean, the free practices I've just looked at were in low 130s, like 1 minute 34s, basically.
Yeah.
And then this was 155, 151, 147, which is a lifetime. I mean, 13 seconds off the pace and getting on pole.
Initially, they were like 30 seconds off the pace.
Yeah. I actually read an article about Lance Stroll.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really quite... I mean, I said this before, it was quite eye-opening because they said, if you actually look at his career, he's a solid midfield driver.
Yeah.
He sometimes has bad weekends where he'll beat shit in the gravel or just can't seem to do anything right.
Yeah.
But he's just constantly undermined because his dad is rich and owns a team.
Yeah.
And he constantly has to put up with this, he's just a pay driver, if his dad didn't own a team. If his dad didn't own a team, he'd probably be knocking around for like Alpine or
Haas, probably.
Haas or maybe Williams a couple of years ago, or Racing Bulls. Or
just because his dad is a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got that advantage anyway.
But so many of them have got rich parents, to be honest.
Well, Norris does.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Ollie Behrman's dad is quite well off.
Yeah. I mean, Lewis Hamilton was the kind of outlier.
Yeah. Also, Ocon. The story is that his parents sold their house and bought a caravan so they could go around Europe and he could do karting.
Damn. I think Charles Leclerc wasn't spectacularly rich either.
Probably not. Probably not for Monaco. But he was still in Monaco. And his dad was a racing driver who was friends with Bianchi's family, who owned a karting track.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like old school nepotism, where it's like he just knows racing and it's in his blood, as opposed to just being super rich.
Yeah.
Which is better? I don't know.
So in the qualifying, the big shock, and again, this kind of reminded me of Brazil, was it's the first time Hamilton had qualified last on pure pace.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And like last time, I think, or a couple of times ago when we were in Brazil,
yeah,
it was the first time that Verstappen had dropped out of the top.
Yeah, he'd been out in Q1 on pure pace. Yeah.
So it was kind of...
That being said, he had a bollard under his car.
But then again, the car was so undrivable, he hit a bollard.
Yeah.
And I think more of a factor than the bollard was the appalling communications. because it looked like he could have done a final flying lap. I think it was less than a second before the flag he got over the start-finish line.
But he backed off.
But he backed off because he thought he'd missed it. But then he came over the line, and the most telling thing ever, he said to his race engineer, "Am I safe?"
And what did his engineer say?
He said, "Well, no." But, I mean, the fact that he had to ask after he crossed the line?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Bono doing that?
Well, also he could have asked before.
His race engineer should have been feeding him information. I mean, whether it's Lewis or Adami,
I think also...
It doesn't matter, it's that lack of communication, isn't it?
I'm not sure if he would have got through anyway, even if he'd done it. Well, I don't know, the track was ramping up quite significantly.
Yeah. The thing is, in that final lap, Adami should have been saying...
Push.
Push, 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 you're not safe, you're still in the drop zone.
You're last. Yeah, move on.
Yeah. And whether it was like Hamilton not asking him or Adami not saying it, it's kind of indicative of that.
Yeah, it's still the first year teething problems.
Ooh.
But also, to be fair to Hamilton,
yeah,
he's had a pretty bad year overall.
Oh yeah.
I mean, with like Roscoe dying.
Yeah.
And just, having probably his worst season in F1 full stop, to be honest, because it's...
Oh, definitely. I mean, no podiums, no wins.
Well, he went winless in 22 and 23, but he still had podiums. Even in 2023, he had like a couple seconds here and there.
I mean, I did read an article which said what we've been saying, that in terms of his mentality, Abu Dhabi 21 was like a death blow almost.
Yeah.
And then he kind of struggled on for 3 years with Mercedes. Well, 2 years with Mercedes, and then he decided to jump ship. Because he was just racing with the ghosts, basically, of what happened.
But also, I think... Toto wanted to give him like a 1+1 contract?
Yeah.
And I think at that point he must have gone, well, what's the point? Because the team don't really respect him anymore.
Yeah.
And, he maybe looked at it and thought, this isn't the same team that I won all those championships with.
No, and the fact that he wanted Bottas as his wingman, and they got Russell in instead, who's a threat, basically.
Yeah.
And then you can see Toto courting Antonelli as well, who's another threat.
He's probably thinking, where is there space for me with Russell and Antonelli?
And he's also thinking, it's, logically, it's the last few years of his career, however you slice it.
Yeah.
He's always wanted to race in red. If you're going to go at any time, the year before the rule change is the time to go.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, and I don't think they supported him well enough over the end of the 2021 season.
Mm.
And that corresponded with a massive downturn in form with the kind of reg tweak in 22 and 23.
It was completely new regs, I think.
Yeah.
Not engine, but they got ground effect in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mercedes really didn't get the ground effect right, did they?
No. I mean, all the rumours are that the 2026 cars Mercedes have got it right again.
Yeah. In which case, it'll probably be Russell favourite for the championship then.
Yeah.
Potentially fighting with the McLarens and Verstappen.
Yeah, you can never write Verstappen off.
Well, no, as we've seen this season, I mean...
Yeah.
A pretty massive points difference he's overhauled.
Yeah. So
anyway.
In qualifying 1, we lost Albon, which is weird, because Albon and Antonelli, I think that's mainly an effect of the rain and just a random qualifying.
Yeah, Albon, Antonelli and Hamilton. Actually, with Hamilton, Tsunoda and Antonelli, that's 3 extra spots in the top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a big, motivator for the rest of the field.
Also, Bortoletto was in there along with Albon, just to kind of round it out.
Unfortunately not surprising.
He kind of...
I think he's still a rookie.
He has flashes of brilliance, but
It's a track he's never driven in the wet, and the Sauber's not actually a great car. Plus, he gets to say he outqualified Hamilton, so I don't think he's going to be too upset.
no, everybody outqualified. Anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
Q2, again, the track was drying up. The Q2 time, so like a couple of seconds faster.
Yeah. Stroll tried out the Inters.
And that dropped him out into 12th. Hulkenberg, you said the Sauber's not a great car. Both Hasses, I think, will probably be disappointed in 13th.
Very close, actually, isn't it? They were like a tenth apart in the wet.
Behrman had a really good weekend, I think.
Yeah, as he has been for a while now, I think.
Yeah.
It's like scooched his way up into 12th in the championship, and he's not far off Hulkenberg, Sainz and Hadjar.
No. I think Behrman has realised, I mean, to an extent, I think everybody's trying to win races and go as fast as they can.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly sure Behrman is looking ahead up the road and thinking, Hamilton's not going to be in Ferrari forever. Maybe not for long if this slump in form continues.
Yeah.
And he is the obvious replacement to be alongside Leclerc.
Yeah, because he's the young, exciting Ferrari driver, development driver.
Yeah.
And he's in a Ferrari, customer team, let's say.
Yeah. They're not quite the B team, but they're not far off it. I mean, there was all that fuss when Haas...
They first joined.
The year before Haas first joined, I'm sure they were running experimental stuff for Ferrari on the quiet.
Well, I think Ferrari were giving them old bits of gear to, like, get them started.
Yeah.
But then people were like, could they be giving them new bits of gear and getting them to test them?
Yeah, get round the testing.
I've seen Cadillac actually got an old Ferrari as well, I think a few years old, to do a bit of just like procedural testing with Perez.
Yeah, the coolest headline ever.
Yeah.
Perez seen testing in black Ferrari.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because the Ferraris they were driving actually had black livery, not red, so they were like, I've got the black Ferrari. It's like...
it's just completely matte black.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And then, I must admit, given what happened in the race, which I'm sure our listeners would have seen by now, I was really surprised to see McLaren end up on pole and fifth. Because historically they
don't like Vegas.
Hugely struggled.
Yeah.
At Vegas.
I think, Vegas last year, wasn't that kind of the nail in the coffin for that very brief, like, Norris title run?
Yeah, Norris mathematically could have won the title, and then Verstappen went, yeah, it's mine.
Well, there was that 17th to 1st in Brazil, and then Vegas was like the final statement, like, no, my championship.
Yeah. But again, it's got that kind of weird dry track feeling. I mean, Norris was over, 3-4 tenths ahead of Verstappen.
Yeah.
And actually, Sainz was really close in third.
Yeah, Sainz was very close to Verstappen.
And then Russell, and given that he won last year, was
6 tenths off.
But he was nearly
Verstappen,
a second back off the pole time.
Yeah.
It's
well, Norris.
I like Piet.
Sorry, Norris's lap was very, very good. It was like purple first two sectors.
Yeah.
And then he had a massive slide in that final corner, which was like still standing water even at Q3. And he crossed the line, and they told him it was pole, and he was like, "What, really?
Yeah.
Did no one else get a good lap in?"
Well, he was a second on his own teammate.
With a big slide, he probably would have been 1.5.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Leclerc was only 9th, when he'd shown really good pace for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Again, it's a drying, wet track. Most of qualifying was kind of a bit random.
Drying track. So you're saying Jenson Button would have been on pole, actually?
Yeah, Gasly was up in 10th, but again, he loves Vegas.
Yeah, they kept saying like he's always qualified top 10 in Vegas, but he's never scored a point.
Yeah.
Also, I was wrong. Verstappen didn't win Vegas last year.
Oh.
But I think he outscored Norris. and then he won in Qatar, and I think that was it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think he outscored Norris. 5th and 6th they were, but that was just enough to win him the championship, and it was like really kind of a weird anticlimax.
Yeah, it always is when you get a championship winner who doesn't get a podium.
Because it's like, here's the podium, and then we'll pan over here to the champion who's just sort of standing next to his car.
Like, just mooching around, chatting to mechanics, going, oh, world champion.
Well, I think they have a special thing for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but...
Yeah, I think they got up on the podium afterwards or something. It's all... Yeah, it's a bit...
Yeah. We'll see if they get a win this time, whoever it is.
It's always a bit weird. And then... The race was completely dry, but it was green track, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there was... So nobody knew the braking points, really.
Norris didn't.
Well, no. Bortoleto did even less.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Because it was weird, because the broadcast focused on Norris diving to the left to block Verstappen.
That was like a Schumacher-worthy chop.
That was like a... Well, it's the championship, isn't it? If Verstappen gets ahead at that point, it's over.
Yeah.
Which it was, because Norris then went deep. Yeah, I think he just locked up and got onto the dust, and then Verstappen ran away, basically.
Yeah, he outbraked himself, Norris, and he went into the runoff and came back on behind Verstappen, even though he cut him off.
But they were showing the replays of that. Behrman gained 8 places. I think Hamilton gained like 13 or something.
Yeah, a bit later on they showed a replay of Hamilton's onboard, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure who Bortoleto hit exactly.
I think it was Stroll.
But Bortoleto kind of bowling balled his way through the field.
Yeah, Stroll DNF'd at lap 0, so...
And everybody else was like spinning and trying to drive around it. And because Hamilton was at the back, he could see everything. And he was like, left here, right there, round that car, missed that bit of carbon fibre. Oh, look, I made up 12 places.
Also because he's done like 400 odd races.
Yeah.
He must have seen that a million times.
Yeah.
And even, I think, looking at the grid, he would have gone, it's a green track. Directly ahead of me are like a gaggle of rookies. I'm just going to hang to the outside and see what happens and drive through the chaos. And then he did.
Yeah.
Which is kind of genius, actually.
Also, did you know that Norris complained on the opening formation lap?
No.
Because he looked in his mirrors and he actually came on and said, oh, that's taking the... I think he said Mickey, but he might have been ruder. Because I know he got fined for swearing in the press conference afterwards.
God, of course.
Apparently he messed up his opening corner.
On the formation lap?
No, I'm sorry, right, formation lap.
Yeah.
He said Verstappen was dropping more than 10 car lengths behind him to make sure that Norris's tyres cooled down far more than the rest of the field.
I do believe Max would do that, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's a very classic, game playing.
Yeah, just a little tiny fraction of a second tactical advantage.
Yeah.
And when you look at what happened in the opening corner, you're a bit...
yeah, actually, good point.
Cold tyres, great green track. Max in prime position to watch, where the breaking point isn't, and then just take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was complaining on the radio. Obviously, I don't think anything happened to it, because again, that's the kind of thing that stewards can just look at the telemetry and go, yeah, 1 car length is this, 10 car lengths is that. You were either, above it or beyond it.
Verstappen probably 9.5.
Knowing Verstappen, yes.
9.99.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. But then, also, speaking of stewards looking at the start,
yeah,
Antonelli got done for a jump start.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, a bit of a strong view of what happened, because he rolled like a millimetre forwards before the race start.
Yes and no, because if they hadn't penalised him,
everybody would have done it again.
Yeah, they would have gone, oh yeah, you can get... I mean, it's Formula 1. If you can get a 0.1 of a second advantage off the start...
Oh, God, 0.1, that's eons in Formula 1.
Exactly, or like a metre or two.
Yeah. I agree that they need to be very hard on it. But they said he's got a 5-second penalty for a jump start, and then we look at the onboard and he's basically not moving. You're just like, well, what's happened then?
But there again, it's a 5, not a 10.
Yeah.
So they were also being sensible and saying, it's not like where Piastri messed it up in Baku.
Yeah, where he actually jumped,
stopped, anti-stalled, and then just...
Or like, my favourite is Maldonado, obviously, at Brazil 2012, because that's the race where Grosjean like smashed into Hamilton and Alonso and got a race ban, so everyone looks at that. But Maldonado, it's like the most blatant jump start in the world, because he's basically in the middle of the track while everyone else is still stationary.
Damn.
It's like, and it's not like a little jump and then a stop. He just started going before the lights were out.
Did he get penalised for it, or?
Yeah, I think he got like a 10-second penalty.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. Maybe like a drive-through, because it was. But then, it looks like he got smashed by the big pile-up at the start, so maybe nothing came of it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Bortoleto went into somebody.
It was Stroll. Yeah.
And there was just like everybody like you say, on a green track, cold tyres. Everybody was just spinning all over the place.
Alpine spun around, probably Colapinto, maybe Gasly.
Yeah. I
was just looking at Hamilton's onboard, and he does thread the needle between all the stationary cars.
It's kind of genius. Well,
it is. It's the sort of thing that you can only get by doing 400 races.
Yeah.
Like, as good as someone like Behrman or Antonelli is, they couldn't have done that, I don't think.
No, and Piastri got hit by Lawson.
Yeah.
Antipodean accident, I think we can call that.
Yes. Antipodean. It took me a second to figure out what word you were saying, but yes. Although I was
watching the start again because it was just...
It's only technically Antipodean from our perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because to them it's just where they are.
Yeah.
It's like, what does this word mean? It means other side of the world.
Yeah.
To them they're like, well, it's not the other side of the world, it's just you're Antipodean to us, they would say.
Oh yeah, I'm watching the beginning again.
Yeah, sorry.
Actually, Russell got past Norris at one point.
Yeah, well, because Norris just got on the dirty stuff again. And then on the green track, cold tyres, dirty tyres, he was just, I think, vulnerable.
Piastri dropped down to 7th. Leclerc was just charging his way up. Hamilton was mysteriously up in 13th from 19th before that
was it. Which was, like, pretty awesome, actually.
But then you get in all these replays that show the action at the front, whereas in the background, it was just havoc.
That's what it took him, like 5-10 minutes to show the replay of what happened with Bortoleto.
Oh, actually, that was Bortoleto. I think Bortoleto's picked up a grid drop for next time.
Maybe some penalty points as well, because it was.
Oh yeah, because that was ridiculously optimistic.
It was basically F1 bowling.
Yeah, he just went right up the inside, braked later than about half a dozen cars, and then collected Stroll, and then he spun and.
Yeah, let's see. Grid penalty for Qatar, 5 places. 2 penalty points. Noting that the Brazilian braked extremely late using Stroll's car.
Yes.
Just rewatching the start again. Man, he chops across Verstappen, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bortoleto's not even like on the brakes until he's halfway inside Stroll's. But then that's Alonso tangling with Leclerc. There's Lawson locks up and smashes into Piastri. Sainz is in the Williams in 3rd, and then Russell just gets past him. Stroll, there's Bortoleto goes spinning, and that's probably... I think that must be Gasly spinning in sympathy almost.
Yeah.
Man, it was chaos.
I mean, the really sad thing about the whole race was that the Ferrari had good pace.
Yeah.
Leclerc was up there and fighting at the top. He was overtaking people. I think Norris had to get past Russell on the pit stops, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, because the end of this start replay has Russell in 2nd.
Yeah. I think he undercut him.
Mm.
So yeah, it was actually a really exciting race.
It was an exciting pit stop race because I think they said it was actually an overcut race for once.
Yeah.
Staying out, going super long, as we saw with Antonelli.
Yep.
Because, spoilers, Antonelli pitted... did he pit under the VSC?
On lap 2, yeah,
onto the hards, because I think he may have even started on the softs, because he was at the back. So he went soft onto hard, and then he just stayed on them.
Yeah.
He just never stopped again. Yeah, lap 2.
Yeah.
And ended up holding off, who was it? Was it Piastri? Let me get the race report.
It was kind of... And I see that this, I think, was one of the weird things. He was in second, but carrying a 5-second penalty. And Russell...
Leclerc, I think it was, actually.
Yeah. You kind of have to work it out because you have to have 5 seconds to his time.
So Antonelli.
Yeah, that's right. Before the disqualifications, it went Verstappen, Norris, Antonelli, Russell? Or Russell, Antonelli? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Russell, Antonelli.
Let me actually get the race report because it is a bit hard to decipher.
Yeah.
With the penalty and the disqualifications.
Yeah, it was I said, it's properly exciting. Now I've just flicked forward to the final lap, and it was before all the chaos. Verstappen, Norris, Russell, Antonelli, Piastri, Leclerc.
Yes.
That was the top 6. Right, while you're looking that up, the one thing that really struck me, we said about the communication within Ferrari. Leclerc ended up 0.19 seconds behind Antonelli.
Oof.
Again, everybody's like, oh, well, Hamilton suffers because he's the new guy and he's not embedded in the team. And look at Leclerc, he's been there for 7 years, he knows how they work. Why was Leclerc's race engineer not saying every lap it should have been Antonelli is 4.7 ahead, Antonelli is 4.8 ahead, Antonelli is 4.
Would it have helped though? Also, how do you know he wasn't?
I just can't believe that Leclerc couldn't find less than 0.2 of a second.
But
or do you think Leclerc was all out for it and just?
Well, yeah, it's the last 5 laps of the race. Yeah, if they hadn't told him he had a 5-second penalty, that would be ridiculous. I think.
Yeah.
And I think we would have heard about it. I don't think he would have been like, oh, I was only going 75% pace. I didn't realise he had a penalty. He's a racing driver. I think he would have been pushing as hard as he possibly could.
Yeah, maybe he was just unlucky. It just struck me as really weird that 0.19 of a second.
If it was I'd actually be more inclined to believe if he was 3 seconds off, because then it's almost like he wasn't bothering. But I think, given that the margins were so close, it seems like he was pushing.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, again, it's just sort of unlucky that he missed out on the podium. But also, credit to Antonelli for staying 5 seconds ahead of Leclerc.
On absolutely 48 lap old tyres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 4.8 seconds ahead. No, 5.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.2 ahead.
5.2 ahead of Leclerc.
Yeah. So yeah, Norris and Piastri got disqualified for plank wear. Oh, did you hear the whole Norris-Piastri battle is getting much nastier?
Why?
Piastri put up to his Instagram and then it was screenshotted before he deleted it. There's a little meme with a quote from Bernie Ecclestone where Bernie's basically saying, I can't remember the exact words, but the gist of it is, oh, of course McLaren want Norris to be a world champion. He's far more photogenic, he's got better social media skills, and he's British.
Mm.
And Piastri put that up on his Instagram.
I think what happened is Instagram has a new feature where you can repost reels or posts. but it's a button that's just right next to the comments and the likes and everything. So I think it was probably genuinely a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Because I just can't really believe that he would do that on purpose. Because how does it help him in a way?
Well, it puts more pressure on the team to be a bit more even-handed.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, the other thing that I really strongly noticed was that I said this before we hit record. As soon as the race ended, I said to my wife, Norris is going to get disqualified because he was 19 seconds behind at the end. Yeah. And I thought he would be either underweight or underfueled because there was so much lifting and coasting going on towards the end. But also, I was actually wrong about that. He got disqualified for plank wear. But
yeah.
Why was Piastri not told to lift and coast?
That is a good point.
If they were trying to protect Norris from plank wear and they had the technology to know that they were running very close to the limit, and actually, if you look at the technical documents, Piastri's plank wear was worse, then why wasn't Piastri?
Where was Piastri in the race? Was he 5th?
He was 5th at the line.
How far away was he from Sainz?
Well, Leclerc was 2.7 behind him. Sainz was another 4.4 back from there, and Hadjar was another 10.
So was Piastri in between Leclerc and Sainz?
No, Piastri was in between Antonelli and Leclerc on the line.
Which is within a 5-second gap.
Yeah, but then Antonelli would have gone
ahead of him.
Just ahead of him when he got the penalty.
Well, he would have gone ahead of Antonelli when Antonelli got the penalty.
Right. If they didn't get disqualified, it would have gone Verstappen, Norris, Russell on the podium.
Yes.
Piastri in 4th.
Yeah.
Antonelli in 5th.
Leclerc.
And then Leclerc in 6th.
And then everything else was normal.
Yeah.
So the point is that he was very close to Antonelli and Leclerc.
And Sainz, actually.
And he was fighting.
Yeah.
I think I read that they thought he'd be okay because he had DRS. The whole race, whereas Norris didn't.
Okay.
Not saying that they were right, because obviously they weren't. And also, if he did do Lyco, either he'd have ignored them because he'd have been overtaken by Leclerc.
He'd have probably gone down to about 7th with Sainz and Leclerc in front of him.
But, is 7th with an intact plank better than a DSQ? Well, yeah, isn't it?
With more points, yeah.
So that's not really a justification.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, and I know you've got your masters in physics, so
yes.
There's this theory, and I cannot see the logic of it, that there are heaters inside the McLaren car, and there's some titanium around the skid block mounting, so that during the race it heats up and expands, and then when it gets to parc ferme it cools down and contracts, and somehow that would have helped the plank wear and the measurements. But
yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
I can't make that make sense in my head, because if it expanded during the race, it would force the plank lower.
Yeah.
And then it would raise the plank in parc ferme, but by that point you've worn the plank out.
And also you're making the plank look smaller.
Yeah.
But, yeah, also wood doesn't really thermally expand or contract very much.
I think what we call plank wear, there's actually mounting bolts for the plank, and that's what they actually measure, and that's why you see sparks.
We saw. Do you remember they saw loads of sparks from from Piastri's car? Going down the main straight, he was sparking like crazy.
Yeah,
which again was
even towards the end. They've actually tweaked the regulations now for places like, I think it's Kota. They've got a different composition for the bolts so that the sparks aren't as likely to set fire to the grass at trackside. There's now actually 2 specifications of bolts. One for dry grass tracks and one for normal tracks like Las Vegas.
Yes.
I think it's titanium and stainless steel, but I'm not 100% sure.
So I'm reading...
Yeah.
The plank... reading the Wikipedia page.
Yep.
The thickness of the plank is one of the Parc Fermé tests.
Yep.
If it is found to be worn beyond the allowed limit, the car is disqualified.
Yep.
It has been made of a light, strong and non-flammable fiberglass called permaglass.
Yeah.
Since the late 90s. So, I'm not sure why the mountings would necessarily... expanding or contracting would necessarily make a difference.
And also the amount that, like, even titanium expands or contracts with heat is fairly negligible. I know that we're down to like fractions of a millimetre.
Yeah.
But the amount of extra weight you'd have to have for systems to heat it up and cool it down would surely make more of a difference than...
Well, it probably isn't like a heater like we're thinking. It's probably like they're channeling airflow onto it or something.
Yeah, like the kind of...
Or they're using a very specific composite that has certain...
Yeah, like they were doing with the brakes and the brake cooling ducts. And
yeah,
things.
If they're even doing that. But
yeah.
Piastri? No, Norris actually said it was porpoising.
Yeah, and apparently it was like an hour-long stewards meeting, which is really unusual because it's literally, we've measured it, you have observed us measuring it, the stewards have observed us measuring it. Yes. A is less than B, therefore you're disqualified.
But I think it's actually because it was such a small margin. And also I think McLaren were arguing it quite hard.
Yeah.
They were saying, I think, it was like exceptional circumstances because they had basically no dry running.
Yeah.
To get the car set up. Also, I'm reading this article that says
that
if they'd actually run it lower, they wouldn't have porpoised as much and they wouldn't have worn the plank as much.
Ah.
They actually raised the car slightly because they were being cautious, but it created the big collisions down the straight.
Yeah, and also they were both knocked them out a bit.
Yeah.
Also, any argument McLaren can make about the amount of running and purposing
applies to every other car on the grid. Yeah, exactly.
All the other 9 teams and 18 drivers had the same amount of running.
And I think once they found those 2 were in violation, they checked all the top 10.
They normally check most of the top 10 anyway. It's not we're picking on McLaren.
No, although there's an article here where Alex Albon says that they should just check every car after the race.
I don't think they've got the resources. I think the top 10 usually get checked.
I think they do a quick check.
Yeah.
And if the quick check is below, then they do a much more in-depth check. And if that's a violation, then they in-depth check all of them, I think.
And also,
that's how I do it.
People sitting at home were like, how come Norris is sparking on the last few laps? How come they're lifting and coasting?
Yeah.
The stewards are going to look at that and go, sparking, lifting and coast. Okay, we'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
You know, like they probably would have double-checked the weight and double-checked the fuel, because what I thought, also, lift and coast.
I think because Norris was second.
Yeah.
So you might as well check the top 3 anyway.
Well, certainly you're this close to what's going to make a difference to the championship.
Yeah. But again, it's like, at what point do you decide who's important to check? So it becomes a bit of a difficult, like, edge case thing. You might as well just
well, not
check
really.
all of them.
For definite, you check Verstappen, Norris and Piastri, because one of them will be world champion this year.
Yeah, but let's go back to Australia.
Yeah.
Who are you checking then?
Well, yeah.
Because, like, there is no champion. Like, check the top 3, because then they're the top 3 in the championship.
But you also, I think in general the top 10 get a lot more scrutiny because they're picking up points.
Yeah. If it's like, oh no, you were 15th with an illegal plank, well, it's like, who cares? They're 15th.
Yeah. Other news.
Yes.
On lap 34,
Yeah.
Lando was talking to his engineer, Will Joseph, I'm going to say?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And he was saying, am I managing or can I race? And they said, no, Max is ahead, go get him.
Yeah.
And then Max Verstappen, he didn't, but he should have just said, oh, hold my beer.
Yeah, because he put like a second into him or something.
Yeah, but you actually look at his lap times, they start in low 134s. And they just stay there. He just pumps in lap after lap after lap. Consistent, fast, accurate, just.
Yeah, perfect, basically.
Do you know what the fastest lap of the whole weekend was?
Was it Max Verstappen's final lap?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been in the car for over an hour and a quarter. 75 minutes in the car. His tyres are old. Okay, he's on low fuel, but it's not like a glory run in free practice. It's not like final. Okay, qualifying was wet, but
Yeah, I see what you mean.
He's
it
exhausted.
doesn't often happen like that.
He's dehydrated probably by that point. And he's just like, I don't need these tyres anymore. It's almost, well, knowing him, it probably is him saying, watch this. This is what you're up against. This is what I could have actually done to you.
This is like, his championship kind of statement.
Yeah, and it was like a 1:33.3, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was 1:33.3 and then some other numbers.
I can see the fastest lap. 33.365.
Yeah, that's it.
The next fastest was Norris on a 1:33.9.
Yes.
So 6/10. Then the next one,
Yep.
Antonelli on lap 48.
Yeah.
How the hell did he do that?
Well, exactly. I think he's starting to realise his potential.
I mean, this in Brazil, 2 podiums in a row.
Even if he didn't actually get to stand on the podium, but yeah.
Yeah, he's suddenly quietly become one of the best drivers on the grid. I think Mercedes have actually found a lot of pace as well, to be fair, because Russell's up there.
Yeah.
Have you seen this kind of funny conspiracy about Kimi Antonelli and titanium oxide?
No.
So basically, I think it was on Reddit, somebody noticed that Antonelli does very well in races in countries where titanium oxide is not banned in the wheel guns.
Okay.
But they actually did a statistical analysis and it is significant. Because it was like Canada, they allow it. But then Italy, Monza, Spain, Britain and Belgium and Austria, they ban it.
What does titanium oxide do to a wheel gun?
I don't know. I might be remembering it wrong. I can... Titanium oxide. But... oh no, it's not the wheel gun, it's the food additive. Whether it's legal in that country as a food additive compared to where it's not.
Eating titanium oxide?
Titanium dioxide, rather.
Even so.
Well, yeah, but it's allowed in... the big one is Canada. It's allowed in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, you got a podium.
But then in the 3 races either side of it, so Italy, Monaco, Spain, Austria, Belgium, Hungary, it's not allowed. And he only ever got 1 point in all of those races. He got 10th at Hungary.
Wow.
I think it's starting to fall apart a bit now, because it's like... But it's been allowed in the last 6 races, and he's done much better. So people have... But I think it's an example of, you can cherry pick your kind of...
Stats for anything, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of a funny thing.
Yeah.
To mention. It's just is this why Antonelli's doing well, or is it, it's correlation is not causation?
No. I'll tell you something else I read that actually is really interesting. However well they're doing at the moment, and if you look at the grid we've got today or this year compared to in the past,
yes,
we've got Hamilton, Alonso and Verstappen in the grid.
Yeah.
They're all multiple world champions. They are whatever your politics are, whatever you feel about Hamilton now, they're all world-class drivers.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody was going to draw up a list of the top 10 drivers of all time,
yeah,
they would pretty much be there.
I mean, I maybe wouldn't put Alonso quite top 10. Statistically, probably not, but in terms of pure speed and pace, maybe.
And also, if you look at the number of championships he missed out on by less than 10 points.
That is true.
I mean, he should really be a 4 or 5-time world champion on skill.
That is true. But I've also looked into it, and just because it's kind of fun to think about, Alain Prost, I think he was only like 10 points away from being an 8-time champion.
Yeah?
Including he was half a point off of Lauda one year.
Damn.
Which is like ridiculous. But there's like an alternate universe in which Prost is like unequivocally the GOAT.
Yeah, I can actually see that.
Yeah.
But then alongside those three, you've
yes.
got Norris, who's been leading the championship. So you can't discount him. You've got coming up as well, Russell and Leclerc are brilliant, brilliant drivers.
Yeah.
But then you're up to like 6 or 7 world-class drivers on the track at once.
Well, yeah, put Piastri in there as well.
Yeah.
Piastri did have that stretch of kind of domination, really.
Yeah.
From China all the way up until that Monza swap. He was pretty much the best on the grid every weekend.
Yeah. But then you look at that and you kind of think, that doesn't often happen.
No.
And like you say, now you say Antonelli is really starting to shine. You're like, legitimately.
Antonelli, and then we're thinking also about like Behrman. He's not quite there yet, but he's getting there.
And Hadjar's not a shabby driver either.
But then there's also, not for a rookie.
But then you kind of think, wait a minute, so like a third of the grid you would legitimately rate in the right car could take a world championship.
I think the top 7 in the championship right now could easily be champions.
Oh, let me quickly go back to that.
It's Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton and Antonelli.
Yeah.
Not sure about Albon. I think Albon's probably going to end up being a sort of...
solid midfield.
Yeah, high end of the midfield if Williams can get their act together.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see that in the championship. That's where the big gap is between
and like I say,
Antonelli and Albon.
You can't really count Alonso out of any lists.
No.
But it's kind of unusual to have that many seriously good drivers in one grid.
I mean, if we look back to the 2018 grid, just because that's when I started watching.
Yeah.
Just going to look at the championship. So Hamilton, Vettel.
Yeah.
Raikkonen and Verstappen. But then it's like Bottas, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Perez.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's good, but...
And also, at that point, Verstappen was more of a rookie with potential.
Yeah. Raikkonen, though he was... great driver, he's a single-time champion.
Yeah.
But he was a bit past it even then.
Yeah.
Really, it was just Hamilton and Vettel were the absolute cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Leclerc was in that championship, as was Alonso. But, I mean, looking even at the sort of the rookies of that year, where there was like Ericsson and Van Dorn and Sirotkin, who never really kind of got anywhere. But you look here, you look down, you're seeing like Bortoletto and Behrman and Hadjar.
Yeah.
This might actually be the most talented grid we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, I think it really is. And I think, maybe the next few years it's really going to come down to car choice, and especially with the new regs and the development, who actually ends up in front.
Yeah. I really, in a way, it's a bit mean maybe to think of it, but I kind of hope Verstappen doesn't have a championship-worthy car next few years. Because I want to see like a 5-way fight between Norris, Piastri, Russell, Leclerc and whoever else.
Can I just say, I don't think he's got a championship-worthy car this year.
Yeah. I mean, you say that, but he is also in contention for the championship, so...
Yeah, but Tsunoda's down on 28 points in 17th.
Yeah. But
Lawson is on 36 points, most of which he's got with Racing Bulls.
I think all of which he got with Racing Bulls.
Yeah. I mean, that Red Bull is not objectively a fast car.
Not in the same way that the McLaren was.
Yeah.
When they were so closely matched.
I mean, can you imagine if Verstappen had that McLaren?
Oh, 2023 Mark II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd get on the radio to GP and say, do you want me to win this race by 20 seconds or 30 seconds, GP?
And he'd say, can we swap positions with the other McLaren? And they go, no, Max, you've got blue flags. Just go past him.
Yeah. He's like, why is Norris ahead of me? He's not, you've just lapped him. Again.
Yeah. Also, I kind of almost get the impression he's enjoying this championship more, though, than he was in 2023.
Yeah, I think actually he's matured a lot. He's doing a lot more work to like develop young drivers and things like that.
Because I remember 2018, he had a very scrappy start to that season.
Yeah.
And he was crashing into everyone.
Yeah, it was called Crash-Tappen, wasn't he?
Max for Crash-Tappen? Yeah, something like that. But now, but even then, I think we were like, if he can get it together,
yeah,
he has the potential to be, well, one of the best of all time, and now he is.
So after the disqualifications, he is now 24 points behind Norris and on level points with Piastri.
Which is just almost like too perfect, isn't it?
And Norris is actually 96 points ahead of Russell.
Yeah. So Russell's out of it now. There's only 58 points.
A few races.
There's only 58 points left.
Yeah.
So
essentially, Norris has to finish Qatar ahead of both Piastri and Verstappen.
Yeah. At which point
he will mathematically be.
He can now win the championship in Qatar.
Yeah, and it's quite easy. If in sprint and race he finishes ahead of those two, he's done it because he'll be at least 2 points ahead.
Yeah, he'll be 26 points ahead, and then that's only 25 left.
Yep, and he's probably he's got more race wins than Verstappen.
Mm.
But further down, Hadjar is on 51, Hulkenberg is on 49, Sainz is on 48, and Behrman's on 41, and Alonso's on 40. Actually, even Lawson's back there on 36 is not... Probably is out of contention, but that little fight...
Yeah, 40 points up to 51. Alonso up to Hadjar. That could go either way. Especially since Behrman keeps putting it quite high up. Sainz as well had a pretty good race, actually, quite quietly. He came 5th.
Yeah.
In Vegas. Actually, they all scored points in Vegas.
Yeah. It's all...
What about the constructors down at the bottom end?
Again, that's like 73 for Haas and 72 for Aston Martin and 68 for Sauber. It just takes one really good result to shuffle that around.
Further up on the constructors,
Ferrari have lost second place, I think.
They're like mathematically...
Maybe not mathematically, but they're 60 odd points behind Mercedes.
Yeah, there's only 16 behind
Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen Racing. I've got 52 points behind Mercedes.
I can't do the maths. 78. They're on 378 Ferrari.
Well, I've got
So they need 22 to get up to 400. 22 plus 31 is 53.
I might have got a wrong result somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I had to change it with the disqualifications. I probably made a mistake somewhere shuffling everybody up.
Yeah.
I'll change it later. I can't be bothered.
Yep. And...
but yeah...
Red Bull of 40 points. Oh! Have you seen this floating around the internet as well?
What?
What Jos Verstappen was known as in Holland in the 90s.
I dread to think, to be honest.
Grindbok, and I apologise to any Dutch listeners, Grindbok Jos.
Grindbok Jos.
Or Grindbak Jos.
What does that mean?
It means gravel trap Jos.
That is quite funny. I thought that was going to be like that he was violent or something, and kind of. That is actually very funny.
Apparently, he was quite notorious for getting it beached and unsubstantiated, because I'm in several dull men's groups on Facebook, and they tend to kind of recycle old posts quite often.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody was saying that a Dutch friend said that it was almost like a byword for bad driving. It's like, oh, don't be such a Verstappen, but there's no kind of corroboration for that. So
I kind of doubt that, to be honest. I think maybe back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because he was he was probably the only Dutch driver.
Yeah, I would think
around.
So. Yeah.
So he was probably like, oh yeah, Dutch driver, and then they saw that he was, to be perfectly honest, a bit rubbish.
106 race starts, no wins, I think.
2 podiums.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, like we keep saying, solid midfield.
I think he was actually teamed against Schumacher, though, which is, to be fair, kind of unfortunate.
And it's kind of unfortunate his most notable moment was that huge fireball.
Oh yeah, he absolutely caught fire in the thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sort of a fairly mid-level driver.
Yeah.
But then, kind of compared to his son, not even close.
Well, no, but, in a way, he kind of made his son, so...
And it's also funny that he was teammates with Schumacher, who probably annihilated him. And now his son is the one who does that to other drivers.
Do you think maybe he watched from the other side of the garage and saw how completely driven and focused Schumacher was, and how much he just dedicated everything to the craft?
Well, I think Max just was around racing his whole life. So I don't think it was one specific driver, it probably just was generally...
No, what I mean is Jos.
Oh.
Jos saw Schumacher and watched how Schumacher won.
Right.
And then thought, you know what, if you bring a son up with that level of focus and that level of racing is everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it also massively helps that he has natural talent in spades. I don't think you can have one without the other.
It's kind of a perfect storm of build a perfect F1 driver, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Massive natural talent. I mean, you look at the number of relatives he's got. Like, his mum was a karting champion.
Yeah.
He had, grandparents who...
Literally in his blood.
Yeah.
But also racing connections.
Yeah.
With Jos. And also Jos not just being like, oh yeah, I'll support you in F1. We'll try to get you to F1. I know some people. But Jos being like... from the day he was born, probably being like, he will be a world champion and I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Not to say that's necessarily a good thing that he did. And obviously, he had some unfortunate methods, did Jos.
Yeah, but as people have pointed out, there's a really good relationship between Jos and Max, so...
Yeah.
A lot of people looking in from the outside, we've got no idea, really.
But again, that being said, is Max going to be publicly kind of trashing his dad like that?
Well, no.
I mean, father-son relationships are complicated.
Yes.
I mean, ours is quite chill, to be fair.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not a Formula 1 world champion, so I'm blaming you for that.
Yeah, I know, I could have pushed you harder.
Anyway.
So yeah, that was the Las Vegas Grand Prix, really, wasn't it? I think that's everything I wanted to cover about that.
Yeah, it was worth staying up for, I think.
Yeah, I'm quite glad. I said before we hit record that
you didn't see any spoilers.
No, I didn't see any spoilers, and I woke up in the morning and the replay was already on, so I managed to rewind it and watch both the qualifying and the race, not as highlights, but as kind of full Sky TV things. So I was quite...
Yeah, I think with
lucky
Qatar, it's a sprint weekend, but I'm at work during the sprint qualifying. I'll be able
to watch all of it. It's actually today. We're being a bit naughty and recording it on the Friday.
Well, they shouldn't do a triple header then.
Yeah.
But I think I'll do what I did last time, which is I can actually watch the same kind of buffered replay on my break.
Yeah.
I fire up Now TV on my phone, get to the live broadcast, and I think it's a 2-hour buffer. So if I go all the way back to the beginning, I should catch some of it at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's everything.
No, I think we're pretty good. We've got Qatar and then Abu Dhabi, so we're nearly there. I mean, like you say, it's been a very long season.
Yeah, and it's like if it had been an old style season, 16, 17 races, Piastri would have won ages ago.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
But I mean, I still think there's been a bit of bias because they've done the car development to move it closer to Norris's style and further away from Piastri's.
Yeah, but also I think Piastri is maybe not coping quite as well with the championship pressure as Norris is.
No, he's making more mistakes, definitely. And apart from turn 1 in Vegas, Norris has been very on it and very focused and just like doing a max, basically pumping in really good solid laps as often as he can.
Problem is Max is also doing a max.
Yeah, and the other thing in Max's favour is he's 28.
Yeah, he's actually at peak now.
I think any racing driver between 27 and 31, those kind of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, Norris and Piastri are still quite young, to be fair, which also means they've got more opportunity. Yeah. And this is still only Piastri's 3rd season. It's like Norris's 7th and Verstappen's like 10th or something.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always said, another 5 years, if Piastri ends up in a good car in 5 years' time.
Yeah, he'll be up there with the Russells and Leclercs.
I think he'll be up there with the Verstappens and the Hamiltons, to be honest.
Well, arguably, Russell and Leclerc kind of are.
Yeah.
They're just not in the right cars, as Hamilton isn't.
Yeah.
Should be very... Yeah, it should be very exciting the next couple of years with all this, as you said, like actually top flight, high level talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah. Usual caveats. I've got a new book out. Go and buy it. I'm Graham H. Miller, mystery writer.
Yep.
Toby's doing interesting stuff with his official Tibby Gaming YouTube channel.
Yep.
We'll be back after Qatar. It's a triple header, which, like I say, with my endless social life of Christmas parties and Toby working evenings, means it's quite hard to get some time to sit down and talk about them. But
I think after Abu Dhabi, we'll actually be in the same place for a bit. We could maybe do like a post-season wrap-up podcast.
And then there'll be pre-season testing for 2026, which will be our first chance to see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay then.
Yeah, see you after Qatar, I guess.
Yeah, talk to you after Qatar.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.